Started the big one at the G. Arguably the match of the round and a crowd to match. Certainly we had 55,000 at Waverley yesterday. Ideal conditions for footy. McKernan jumped early. O'Donnell tries to go through. Alessio, a little bit of a fumble. No one's getting it out of the middle. Finally it's North towards half forward. Bell should get there first and does. Stevens under pressure, fumbles, back to Bell. And he travels about 9 metres. Ball over the boundary line from Chandler, the former Fitzroy player. And we'll see a ball up. Southern stand not packed, but I would reckon the crowd at the moment probably about the 45 to 50,000 mark. So we have a boundary throw in. McKernan and Lucas. Boundary umpire threw it too far for both of them. McKernan looks for a free kick holding the ball. Shuffled out the front. O'Donnell's there, can't take it. Now the Bombers are away, driven up by Lucas. Lucas's kick, it's a bomb up towards Martin. Blakey. Alessio a little bit late with the tackle. Kicks up towards the big bits of Corey McKernan.
And McKernan from the edge of the centre square, inside 50. Horse Longmire's there. The high flyer was Scholl. Off hands. Lumfield lost it, so is Wellman. Cockatoo Collins over the top. Longmire wants the free. He'll get a ball up.
Well, Glenn Archer's in fact started in the back pocket, and John Longmire started at full forward. Craig Scholl at centre half forward for the Kangaroos. So a very flexible game that they've got, a game plan, but it revolves around Corey McKernan.
McKernan won the tap. So we see Lucas kicks the ball out towards centre wing. Danaher versus Rock. They just might wear each other today. And John Blakey has the job of picking up James Hird.
Well, Steve Alessio started in the ruck. Ryan O'Connor was at full forward for Essendon, but already O'Connor has moved onto the ball, and Alessio down at full forward, being picked up by magical Mi'kmaq.
So O'Donnell, the skipper over the top. Rock at ground level. Tunnel balled it out. Chandler caught by Danaher. Ball was thrown out. Long. Those quick hands to Mercedes. Always picks up possessions. Calthorpe was the tackler. Stevens kick smothered. Taken by Rock back to 50. North Melbourne persistent. Cross half forward. Allison over the top. Lucas goes to the ground. Simons over the line.
Fairly willing in close. Michael Simons. Just the one player that I can see with long sleeves today. And Sheedy in the box. That's David Calthorpe. Even Brett Allison, he usually wears long sleeves, has discarded them today with the temperature in the high 20s. Danaher offloaded as he kicks. Was that out of bounds on the full? It was. It will be a North Melbourne free kick. The recipient is going to be Rock. No, it's not. Free ball. It's going to be Freeborn. Freeborn from centre wing. Centres it. McKernan the target. Longmire was there as well. Ball hoofed out towards the centre wing position. Pryor around King. Hird and Blakey. Blakey wins the first duel. Back to centre wing. King again. Plenty of speed by the former Port boy. The horse in front. Wellman behind. Good spoil. No mark. The umpire says free kick North. He's going Essendon's way.
There's no doubt, Pete, that Michael Pryor has been put on David King as a defensive half-forward flanker.
Hardwick.
He's got to tighten up on him.
Kick by King. Again, not a good one. Lucas dragged off it. Had to get rid of it quickly. Danaher. The last of the clan. Danaher's kick out wide. Rock goes at it pretty solidly with O'Connor. Those two have fun bouncing off each other all afternoon. But it's Archer who wins the duel.
Goes up towards the half-forward line. Been marked up here by Stevens. 65 metres out. Inside 50, backing back. It's Blumfield.
Interesting matchup on James Hird, KB. John Blakey getting the job, so they're clearly trying to cover his running ability rather than his marking strength.
Well, here's the running ability of Long. Centre wing. Handballs out to open space. All coming through hard was Chandler. Did it well. Takes the ball over. Michael Long injured himself last year. Been aggressive. Bowling over a couple. He runs into Chandler as well. I think he felt that he was harshly dealt with. So Scott kicks the ball back towards centre half forward. Blumfield was a high flyer. Bell had it, lost it. Chandler's trying to kick it off the ground. The boy from Fitzroy strutting his stuff here at the MCG. And we see Denham takes the ball over the line. So no score on the board. We've played nearly 5.5 minutes in this opening term. Sean Denham on screen. And we can see currently it's 28. The expected maximum was 26. So a magnificent day for football. Already over the maximum. Long. It's a wild hand pass. Knocked back by Schwash. Great to see him back in the action for the Kangaroos.
Players might disagree with you, KB. A magnificent day for footy. It's arguably too hot now, isn't it?
The spectators.
The spectators, it's great.
Denham on Swass, Scott on Long, and Anthony Stevens picking up Joe Mercedes.
McKernan, Rock. Calthorpe out bustled. Now it's Anderson from Bell. Hand pass a little bit too severe from Johnny Longmire, and it will be out of bounds in North Melbourne's right forward pocket. So the horse just missing the mark with that. Back after a knee reconstruction, and minded down there by Sean Wellman, who played 34 games with the Crows. McKernan over the top. Denham. Funny old sort of a kick into space. Rock. Well shepherded. Rock's kick out in front of goal. Almost a mark by Stevens. Couldn't quite control it. Chance for Longmire. Laidley. Maybe too far out to score. 60 metres. Not a bad sort of a kick. Calthorpe gets back and takes a very, very good mark on the goal square. Out to Fletcher. He was brilliant against Carlton. Centering kick has to be pinpoint. King. Mark, free kick, whatever.
Good start to the game from David King. That's already his third possession.
King at centre field. Again, not a great kick. Plenty of Essendon players there. Lucas was there and had a chance. Freeborn goes in solidly. Blumfield tries to get clear. Freeborn again pounces on it. Wellman defending desperately. Crowd looking for a free kick to Chandler. Stevens, a little snap. Was that the required distance? No, it wasn't. Chandler again after it came from Scholl. Still no score. And find their rush behind. The first score of the day. So defence is on top so far, and we've got 14 minutes remaining in the first quarter. O'Donnell to bring the ball back into play.
And a fair bit of filling in this game in this first term. The skipper goes straight down the centre of the ground. That's a beautiful kick, finds Joe Mercedes. So Smokin' Joe on the back edge of the centre square. Kicks to the half-forward line. Che Cockatoo Collins was the target. He's got it. Alessio in the square. He goes to the pocket. He's looking for Berbakoff. Poor option and a poor kick. 45 metres around from Essendon's goal. Berbakoff on screen. Kicked 4 goals in the opening game against Carlton. Played mainly as a defender last year. So a youngster full of potential. Rhino. O'Connor in front. Archer. Cop one high from Hurd. Already had a bit of an altercation with King. Back to Denham. Outside of 50. Sean Denham, a long bomb into the goal square. This may have carried the pack. Touched. So one behind a piece. Played just on 9 minutes of action in this first quarter. King, the pride of Port Melbourne, goes short. Laidley, the junkyard dog, on 50. Finds Swash. His first game back after being suspended in the grand final. Kicks long, up towards half-forward line. Just kicks to space. Fletcher should get there. Beaten by the boundary line.
Father of former Bomber captain, Kenny Fletcher. I think he'd be more than proud with his son's progress, especially with nearly 80 games under his belt now. Almost one of the senior members of the side. McKernan. Great use of the body. Simons. Mercedes right on the boundary line. Denham covering a lot of ground in the first quarter. The Bombers working it well out of defence. Simons again. Che Cockatoo Collins in front. O'Connor charging. Schwass missed it. Martin's there. And still he goes. Magical Mick. Stand out of his road, folks. They can't bring him down. Up to half-forward, Calthorpe. Freeborn in front. Oh, lovely ball. Terrific ball, Freeborn. The hand pass is effective. Scholl needs to kick over his shoulder. He does. Miraculous kick. It's there. We won't see too many better goals than that.
No, she was a beauty, Pete, wasn't it? And up until this time, it's been a battle of the defences. Mighty Mick there breaking through. He's been charged with picking up Alessio Archer now onto O'Connor. But Craig Scholl just getting away from Simons to snap truly, but probably Freeborn on the way through there, KB. Could have got a free kick for tripping.
And Berbakoff has just gone off. And young Andrew Bomford has come back onto the ground, or he's come on for his first run in league football. His first game, former Sydney Reserves player, played nearly 80 games reserve football. So a pick up here by the Bombers as Chandler tumbles the ball forward, marked by Fletcher. No doubt, player of immense talent, Fletcher last year even went up to the forward line where he proved a match winner. Cockatoo Collins kicks the ball down, good mark by Blumfield. Bit too tall that time for Freeborn. Just 13 AFL games, made his mark last year. Hurd, he's got it. Fantastic player, just floats across in front. Oh, he kicks a big bomb. What a kick from James Hurd! From a standing start, he's belted at 60 metres and he's kicked a goal.
Well, it's almost a replica of the one last week against Port Adelaide, where he let go with a 70-metre drop punt. That one was wind assisted. I know the wind is potentially looking as if it's going to the right of screen, but out in the middle of this ground, it does tend to swirl. Well done from Blundfield. Look at this grab, and eventually the height of the Essendon forward line with Alessio, O'Connor, Hurd and Pryor has got to tell a story.
That's gone 70 metres, Gerard.
Great kick.
One step.
Two spectacular goals to start the match here at the MCG. That one from James Hurd, an absolute beauty. The umpire's going to give a free kick to North Melbourne. Quite sure what that was for. Taken by McKernan. Simons, nearly. Rock, a snap, turns quickly and kicks, but only one behind. Oh, the North Melbourne little man. His first score. North go to the lead by that margin, 1-2 to 1-1. 11.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Gary O'Donnell.
Charlie Payne sitting in front of Kevin Sheedy there, one of the former great full forwards for Essendon.
Of course, Gary O'Donnell wearing the number 10, made famous by the most famous of them all, John Cole. Centre wing throw in. Real finals crowd here today. Temperature in the high 20s. The Roos by a point. McKernan tries to find Bell. Couldn't do so. Ball shuffled out the side of the pack. King, as Gerard said, having a good first quarter. Kicks down towards McKernan. Couldn't quite find him. Rock brushes Danaher. Flips it up eventually. Kick taken by Pike. Former Fitzroy. Out towards Wellman. Punch from Fletcher. Still he goes Wellman, chased by Freeborn. Kick is an absolute grubber. And finally out of bounds. Maybe just a little bit too far for Laidley before he could pounce on it.
Well, it was a grubber, Pete, but it was a well-positioned kick. In fact, it was a well-executed grubber, KB, because no one to kick it to, and clearly he had to get it over the line.
So James Hurd to do some ruck work after kicking that magnificent goal. Laidley missed it, so too did Cockatoo Collins. Oh, Mercedes went hard at the footy. O'Donnell to Cockatoo Collins nearly came off. Freeborn, quick hand pass. Chandler. Lucas tries to punch away from McKernan, not successful. Simons nearly, Allison's nearly got him, but Lucas will clear for the Bombers.
And drives the ball along, back to centre half forward. High flyer was Pryor at ground level. James Hurd beaten by King. Great tackle by the Brownlow medalist. Inside the centre square, coming through hard was Hardwick. Hurried kick back towards the half forward line. O'Donnell kicks a high ball. Alessio underneath it. Big mighty Mick thumps the ball away, picked up by Hurd. Quick snap. He's done it again.
That one was almost laconic, wasn't it, the way he kicked that?
Well, he had so much time. He actually ignored a handball because he just knew he was set. There was no point in handballing it off. He was under no pressure. And we could just follow this through once again. It was a high ball. Thought there was a little bit of a nudge from Mick, but umpire let that go. There was a handball option, but why bother?
Cabo, you never used to handball when you were that close? You never used to handball?
Never used to handball. Full stop. Two goals to James Hird. That one not quite as spectacular as the first, but the Bombers by 5 points at the halfway stage of the quarter. Alessio did well to get a kick at it. Laidley and King go for it. It's the former who comes down with it. Laidley's kick out towards half forward. Almost a mark. Scholl couldn't complete it. Now Roberts looks for a free kick for holding the ball, but not according to umpire Dennis Rich. And Simon's the last to get up. So a bounce still inside the centre square. 2-1 to 1-2 in favour of the Bombers. Alessio can't clear the zone. Masiti. Smoke and Joe's kick is long and wide. Out towards right half forward. One-on-one duel. Archer tries to spoil, but Pryor takes the mark. That's a long bomb as well. That might bounce through. No, Cotter just can't get there. It's one behind.
Oh, it was great work, though, by Ryan O'Connor. He left 15 metres behind him free because, and then signalled for Michael Pryor to kick the ball over his head. He just didn't time the release. He pushed Mick Martin up the ground, but then just didn't get back quickly enough. But good thinking anyhow.
2-2 to 1-2. Laidley kicks to centre wing.
Up towards the half-forward line. Good play by Freeborn. Gets Blumfield out of the way. Bell on the boundary line. Back towards half-forward line, marked by Scholl. He's already kicked a goal. He's been a fantastic player since he's been moved up forward. Fletcher with those long arms does well. Then, like a true defender, belts the ball towards the boundary line. We've got a boundary throw in.
North Melbourne using Corey McKernan in the ruck and then pushing him up to centre half forward on most occasions. Currently he's just slipping across that half back line, so perhaps Dennis Pagan now recognising that they do need his assistance in defence.
Rock actually wins the tap. Danaher tapped it on. Rock now does the roving. Back inside 50. Blumfield over the top. Bell at ground level. Twisting and turning back to Pike. Around the corner. Oh, great mark by Wellman. Playing in front of Longmire. 46 games he's played. All up. Started his career with the Crows. Goes short to Hardwick. Most underrated player for the Bombers. So he kicks a long bomb once more. And the high flies Blumfield. He's been very good across half back. From Tuggeranong. Up near the ACT. The kick's a poor one. Corey McKernan. To Laidley. Trying to set it up. O'Donnell stands his ground. Does well. Can't take it on the third. Chandler on 50. Had a few touches. It's a wobbly old kick. And Wellman does well just to force it over the line.
He's had a good start to the game, Red Chandler. Doing quite well. Mark Roberts now just floating across that half-forward line. That's released Corey McKernan to do more ruck work through the midfield and currently becoming more of a defensive player, being picked up by Steve Alessio. So both coaches wanting to go man-on-man around the ground.
Right forward pocket for North. Pike ripped off it. Now Calthorpe has changed his jumper from long to short sleeves, which is not really surprising. Bell out of bounds on the full. I'd reckon it is. And that's where the mark is, according to the boundary umpire. And Calthorpe, very heavily bandaged, gives it to Denham. Denham in the back pocket. He's gone over to Calthorpe. Calthorpe from the goal square, straight up the ground. Oh, great mark. He's doing well, the young fellow, Justin Blumfield.
Big quarter.
As we mentioned, from Tuggeranong in the ACT. Alessio at the back, they all missed it. North defence needs to tidy up. Which way is he going to go? Schwass. Oh, is it holding it? I think it might be. He had the chance, as John Rosso would say.
It's been terrific for young Bomford's confidence. His first game of league football.
79 games he played in the reserves for Sydney. Up towards half forward. Nice centering kick, and the marker's there. North player hurt.
Archer.
He doesn't look too good. Lucas has got the mark. Gee, they wouldn't want to lose him with the height of Essendon out there this afternoon.
Glenn Archer just having a bit of a look around to see who may well have inflicted that little bit of physical punishment. I think it might have been one of the Danaher brothers. The only one left at Essendon now.
There's only one out there. So Scott Lucas goes at Essendon's third. It's coming around. Looks pretty good. I think he might have kicked it. He has. Four kicks to Scott Lucas so far and one mark and now one goal.
Yeah, this is a great kick from Bomford. Saw Lucas out of the corner of his eye. It was one of the Danaher brothers coming through. He just got a little bit of body on Glenn Archer, and that one will be written down into the memory. But a great mark by Scotty Lucas and a good goal.
Bombers by 12 points, 3-2-20 to 1-2-8. Lesio in the ruck against Longmire. Caught high was Rock. Bomford, kick smothered. Chandler, he's already had 6 possessions. Tried to weave his way through Alessio. The tackling's been ferocious. Round the corner, Danaher. Crash, bang, straight into Freeborn. Swash over the top to Denham. Edge of the centre square. Wobbles it inside 50. Pryor, he's got a chance to kick a goal. They're screaming for it. James Hird was one who was loose. Not picked up by Pryor. So we see the Essendon bench with Berbakoff there with Lloyd. Sitting on the bench there. Matthew Lloyd's coming to the side, replacing Mark McCurry. O'Connor misjudged it. Stevens kicks long. McKernan's the target. Wellman from behind, got into his back. Thumped away by Simons. Hardwick will be happy to just paddle this ball over. And we've got a boundary thrown.
Well, he's doing plenty of work, Corey McKernan, just catching up with the positional moves. Longmire into the ruck, then McKernan to full forward. And, well, I thought it was a bit stiff not to get a free kick on that occasion, KB.
I agree.
It makes a unanimous decision. I wholeheartedly concur. Wellman with McKernan. Oh, gee, that's a snap. Oh, don't tell me he's kicked it. Oh, Gary Ablett, eat your heart out. What a goal. I wonder if he practices that at training. 3-3 to 2-2. Like to see that again. What a kick.
I'm not even sure that a Swami could bend his foot around that easily. That was almost an elastic job. There's some pressure on Corey McKernan. He knows he is the man now at North Melbourne. They're looking for him to be the match winner. He's into the ruck. He's down in the forward line. He's a great player. He's been down a little bit, but he needs to hit top form.
Well, we've seen some spectacular goals so far in the match. James Hird a 70-metre one, and that one from McKernan. Kick comes up from Bomford to half forward. It's wobbled up to Pryor. Now can he make amends? Did he learn from his previous mistake? It's long up towards full forward, and Hird, he's already kicked 2. And Martin is content to rush it over the line. The umpire gives the all clear.
He wanted a free kick, James Hird. Thought he was brought to ground. Edged Blakey out, but couldn't quite get to his feet, and he felt that there was a hand on his shoulder. James Hird's already booted 2 goals. Essendon lead by 8 points. 22 plays 14. King goes short to Rock. Half-back flank. Freeborn. It's made space. Kicked 3 great goals in that second quarter. Got North Melbourne back into the grand final, which they eventually won. McKernan is on 50. He's kicked 1 miracle goal. Now can he kick a long bomb? Impossible angle. Across the face of goals. One-on-one, Bell pushing and shoving, and Bomford over the top. Off the interchange bench. Youngster from Sydney. Showing he's got a bit of class and a bit of vision. Kelthorpe is off and running. Pumping those legs like pistons. Can't pick him up though. Caught by Allison, holding the ball. No. Was he in possession?
Well, he actually fumbled the football.
That was his stroke of luck, I think.
David Kelthorpe.
John Russo, did you see that?
We might get a comment from John Russo.
Yeah.
When we just make some contact with him. A kick there goes across to Lucas. Wants to move it quickly back to Bomford. Gives it off to Wellman. He's got plenty of support. O'Donnell. Clever play. Has to weave his way through. Rockets the hand pass out to Danaher. Backwards. He's got great vision. Alessio's the target. He's got it. He's on 50. Just so important to Essendon. Stephen Alessio. 72 AFL games. But certainly one of the stars of the future, if not a star already for the Bombers. 3 goals so far this season.
Averages about a goal a game.
So Alessio from just outside of 50. It's a poor kick. It's into the pocket. Longmire punches the ball over the line.
So there's a little bit of cloud cover now, which will make conditions better for the players. Only 3 minutes left in the first quarter. I think we've found Johnny Russo. John, did you see that one from where you were?
Yes, I did, Peter, and David Calthorpe should have been penalised for incorrect disposal, and Terry Wheeler will be wrapped.
Cockatoo Collins from Hurd. He kicks and he has missed the major scoring area. So 1 behind, 3-5 to 2-2. The difference out to 9 points in favour of the Bombers.
Might just see at some stage if we'll get a wide shot of this zone defence from Essendon, because it is unbelievably jam-packed. Players everywhere for the Bombers.
King again takes his little short kick and now goes long. Lucas underneath it should mark. Was he interfered with? Not according to Brian Sheehan. Masiti to O'Donnell. Pike attempt to smother, ineffective. Big pack of players. O'Connor up one hand. Or Laidley copped one. He got the mark anyway. Winnamell, he got flattened behind play. That'll be downfield. Mick Martin had the mark anyway. The North fullback kicks towards centre wing. Scott paddled by Fletcher. Allison's there. Chandler. Rock at centre wing. Good gather. Scholl under pressure. Simons likewise. Nice balk to get around Pike. Great vision up towards half forward, and Michael Long. Mr. Magic, what can he do? Looks for Hurd, too far underneath it. Martin spilt the mark. O'Connor comes at him. Still Martin. Essendon Hurd for his third. Kicks. It's going, but it hasn't quite gone far enough. 1 behind. 2 goals, 1 to James Hurd. 3-6 to 2-2.
And Ellison off the ground for North Melbourne.
10 points is the margin.
Roberts.
And a rare mistake by Michael Long in not hitting James Hurd, who was well clear on the lead. King kicks to the point of the centre square. Masidi has had a few possessions, Smoking Joe. Loose player in Danaher also. A lot of touches in this first term.
Ryan O'Connor calling for it long, calling for it quickly. There's one out in the square.
So the Rhino wants it in the square. There he is. He made a great anchor man on the World of Sport football many years ago. Hurd goes to ground.
A tug of war.
Just have the footballers tug of war.
Yeah, it would have been perfect.
Would have been a great anchor man. James Hurd on screen.
Probably would have wielded a fairly mean axe too in the woodshop game.
Longmire, O'Connor. Alessio over the top, Hurd. Cockatoo, Collins. Last line, King. Loves to run with the ball. Breaks him up.
Wow.
He's in top gear. Kicks back towards the half-forward line. McKernan, it was a good kick to space. Didn't have to do a U-turn. Back to Freeborn. North's good at that. Handball didn't hit a target. Great tackle by Stevens. Unrewarded. Roberts to Pike. Short to Chandler. Inside the centre square, it's a long bomb.
Chandler, it is a long bomb, but Essendon have the numbers. Fletcher, Bell, what can he weave here? Snap is there. Hit the post. The angle was always going to be the problem. And Peter Bell registering just 1 behind. Dennis Pagan, I think, would be a little bit worried at the moment. Half a minute to go in the first quarter. The difference is again out to 9 points. Wellman. Going to start chewing up time, are they? The old backward pass. Been outlawed in soccer. So they do it again. Back to Wellman. I think the game was just about over. the fiasco a couple of weeks back. O'Donnell, he was one of the culprits actually, Gary O'Donnell.
Well, they clearly know that there is less than a minute to play. Only 4 or 5 seconds. They're just holding on to possession. They don't want to give away a goal.
Hardwick now, he has his turn, but there is the siren to end the first quarter. Clearly the Bombers in command on the scoreboard and just about everywhere else. 3-6 to 2-3. Martin Pike on to James Hird as we start the second quarter at the MCG. The difference is 9 points in favour of the Bombers. Hird has kicked 2 of their goals. Danaher out of the centre, kicks to half forward. Lucas, who had 4 kicks in the first quarter. Denham back to Danaher, who made his presence felt in a couple of ways. Masiti. Oh yes, that's a mark to Bomford. Too much height down there for North.
Well, he's been very impressive so far, Peter.
Peter Bell didn't have the height to go, or not Bell, Schwass didn't have the height to go with him. He has.
Actually, he along with Blumfield have got great characteristics in that they're ground players, but they can take big marks. I mean, James Hird is the ultimate at that caper, but these two add to their aerial strength.
Andrew Bomford from 30 metres out directly in front, kicks his first. Essendon go further ahead.
It's his first goal in league football, and actually he replaced Berbatov, who came off very early in that first term. And he's been impressive, Jared.
Very impressive. Kevin Sheedy, we've both interviewed him, KB. He's wrapped in this kid, isn't he? He thinks that it was a real steal. I know since Sydney were desperately disappointed they missed out on him, but he made well embarrassing.
What, nearly 80 games in the reserves?
Yes.
They had plenty of time to look at him, didn't they?
He did a Hawthorn-like apprenticeship up there in Sydney.
And they're pretty unfashionable these days.
So 30 plays 15. The Bombers in front. Alessio taken away by Stevens out of the centre square. Kicks long. It's a great kick. Oh, terrific play by North Melbourne.
But it was great play, and North Melbourne continue to hang in there. We've thought a couple of times already, just chatting in the break, that perhaps Essendon could have done better with their possession. There's another one where Alessio clearly gave it to the wrong man. And boy, did Anthony Stevens make him pay. He ran in a straight line. The ball went in a straight line, and the goal umpire put up 2 fingers. Great goal from Anthony Stevens, one of the champs of the competition.
His first goal for the season. He's been second in the best and fairest on 3 occasions. It's a mighty player. Kernan couldn't take it. Blakey. It's a wild hand pass. Goes to Freeborn, back to Stevens, the playmaker. Sets it up to Roberts. Been on and off the ground. Kicks a high ball. Not much penetration. Behind was Scholl. Ground level. Scott feeds the ball out. Long. Stevens once more. So it's all tied up inside 50. Hardwick just hugging the ball to his chest. So 45 metres out from North Melbourne's goal. Trail by 9 points. Dennis Rich, Brian Sheen, very experienced umpires today. Mark Prince, Longmire. Kicked off the ground by Wellman. Back to the edge of the centre square. Pushed forward by Lucas, thumped forward that time. Also by Berbatov, back onto the ground. Back to Roberts. They've got the loose player in Stevens. So Anthony Stevens centres the ball. Simons went up one hand. At ground level, he's a jumping jack. Wobbles the kick. Kicking's his problem. Hird's going to tap it on. You could see that was happening. Cockadoo Collins put his skipper under a lot of pressure. Good smother by Chandler. Mighty McMartin comes out. Caught. Didn't see Matthew Lloyd. And Hird kicks a goal.
Number 3.
And once again, a goal from James Hird on the ground. It was just a classic steal. Interception. Mick Martin was always going to be under pressure. He didn't anticipate how close his opponent was. Cockatoo Collins actually picked the wrong option here with this handball. Should have gone to the longer man there, just coming into play now. But have a look at this. Mick Martin just was a little bit casual. Great tackle from Lloyd, I think it is, back on the ground. And a top goal.
Tackle from Lloyd effective. The ball spelt free. Hird pounced on it and kicked his third. and Essendon increasing its lead. 5-6 to 3-3. 17 minutes left in the second term. So what can the Roos conjure up to get the quick reply, which they did before? It's going to be a free kick to Essendon. The recipient is going to be arguably the smallest man on the ground, Sean Denham, standing next to Anthony Rock. I don't think there'd be too much difference. Kicks towards right half forward. There he is again. Hurd grabbed this time. Still gets a hand pass away. King got a little bit of a push. He'll get a free kick. Essendon doing most of the attacking so far in the second quarter. Archer need to get more out of him and Roberts. Roberts' kick up towards Scholl. Simons. He's got the pace. He's got the footy. He's got the result that he wanted. It's out of bounds. Brian Sheehan says throw it in.
North Melbourne have gone to their man for the moment, particularly when it's an emergency. Glenn Archer has been shifted to centre half forward, so they're conceding height down in the back line to go with a match winner. They're in trouble on the scoreboard and they need goals.
Well, they need a few more of those. Number 31's Corey McKernan. It's a great goal. Berbikov. Now Fletcher across his body. 79th game in the AFL. Rock, a little bit of a fumble. Well shepherded ultimately by Longmire. He's found Peter Bell, also in line for the shortest honours on the ground. Bell goes at goal and he's kicked it. Peter Bell, always dangerous close to goal, and North certainly needed that one. That's his first and their fourth. 5-6 to 4-3.
When he initially got it, I thought he was probably a little bit optimistic going for goal, Kevin. But it was good shepherding in the goal mouth by Craig Scholl, I think it was. We'll have another look. So from 53 metres out, Peter Bell lined them up. There was the shepherd in the goal mouth. In fact, it was by Brett Chandler. Great goal.
Peter Bell on screen. Just 2 games with Fremantle. Came across to North Melbourne, played in a premiership side. What a great pickup. North Melbourne hard to shrug off. Alessio, some fancy footwork. Shades of Michael Flatley out of the centre square. Up inside 50, Pike. Down the history books. Last winner of Fitzroy's Best and Fairest. Chandler, his teammate from the Lions. Twisting and turning, gives it across to Anderson. Off the interchange bench, kicks inside 50. Longmire, Wellman, back of the pack. Simon's been very good. He's quick, he's bouncy. Sometimes his kicking is a weakness, but he's an ideal player, I think, to play on Scholl.
Michael Jackson type with the one glove.
Yeah, he's one of those excitement machines, isn't he? Sometimes he can make the odd blue, but by golly, you follow him, you know you're going to get value for money. Great entertainer.
McKernan, too tall for O'Donnell. He's already snapped one miracle goal. Ground level. King. Poor shot. A shocker.
Well, it was considering he had very little pressure. A lot of pressure in his own mind, but he'll look back at the replay and say, why didn't you just slow up a little bit?
The difference back to 8 points. The ball back to Gary O'Donnell to kick in. 15 minutes remaining in the half. King in front. Wasn't his mark though. Anderson nearly dragged it down. Now a chance for Scott. Goes in short. Couple of options there for North Melbourne. Chandler. Can he make amends? Kicks it to the man right in front of him. O'Donnell gets the chance to boot the Bombers out of danger. Freeborn is there, waited for it. Long's got him. Was it legal? Looking back for a free kick. Now McKernan's taken the mark. Kicked one miracle goal in the first quarter. This time he's going back for his kick. And let's see that tackle again.
Well, this one must have been a line ball decision.
Dropped it. Allison comes in.
It's a question of whether or not he had enough time to get a disposal away, and probably the umpire allowing play on was the correct decision.
So Corey McKernan for his second. The difference will be 2 points if he can convert. He should get the distance. He'll kick from about 48 metres. Goal umpire moves into a central position. It looks pretty good, but only one behind.
Well, they can ill afford to miss these shots at goal, North Melbourne. They're down one superstar. They don't come any better than Wayne Carey, and they're covering him pretty well against this side, covering his absence fairly well, but they've just got to make sure that when they do get a shot on goal, they make the most of it. They trail by 7 points. They should be closer.
O'Donnell goes short to Simons. Well, they missed an opportunity with King. They missed an opportunity with Chandler. Missed one with McKernan.
Yep.
Denham. So Essendon not frightened to just hold possession, chip the ball around. Fans, the opposition fans don't seem to like it. Simons. Now to Long. Can he break it up to Denham? Off half back. Goes short. Looking for Lloyd. Denham. Wasn't Lloyd, in fact. Kicks down inside 50. It was Berbatov. Chandler. This is his 12th possession. Oh, Cockatoo Collins goes to ground. Scott.
Oh, he gave one to Laidley there as he got up.
Kicks down, looking for Longmire. Bell at the foot of the pack where good small guys should be. Anderson rockets the ball back to Longmire. Back over the top. Scott. Can't bend it back. It's out of bounds on the full.
Just getting back to that incident off the ball there, Pete. He's a really talented young player, is Cockatoo Collins, but he's a very cheeky young guy, and he just wants to pull his head in a little bit. The umpires will catch up with him pretty shortly.
Just catching up with him now, Dennis Ritchie. Had a couple of words to him, so
probably not anything in that one that was reportable, but it only had to be a little bit more aggressive, and he would have been in the book.
Now Michael Long from Alessio. Away he goes. The excitement machine, Michael Long. Doesn't kick it as well as he would have liked, but it still fell into the arms of James Hurd. Good tackle by Pike. Cockatoo Collins brushes Swass, straightens up around King, kicks it goal, and has booted it. More of that time. That's what we like to see. 6-6 to 4-5. Forget about the niggles.
Yes, he's an immense talent, Cockatoo Collins. He was terrific against Carlton. He came off the bench that day for memory to do some damage up in the forward line, second time around. And look at that, what a classic balk. Sold the dummy and then finished it off magnificently. But Pete, got to concentrate on that stuff.
Shea Cockatoo Collins, another excitement machine at Essendon. And what a great goal. 6-6 to 4-5. So far, the Bombers seem to have the answers. We approach the halfway mark of the second term. Denham's little short kick around his body. Did he find Hurd? Don't think the mark was paid. Quickly to Mercedes. Mercedes kick up towards full forward. Martin taps it down. Schwass tries to get the ball over the boundary line and away from Lloyd, which he does successfully. The umpire will throw it in a long way behind play. The boundary umpire, he gets to it now. 13 points is the difference.
Dennis Pagan just trying to edge Wayne Swass back into the competition. He's been out for some time. Difficult to come back and strike top form, therefore he's not in the midfield. I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up in the forward line at some stage.
Just the one possession so far, Gerard. That's his second possession there. Kicks into Long. Desperate at ground level.
And it's very difficult for players these days, KB, to come back and have a major impact in their first game back from an extended injury. Some people can do it.
Andrew Dunkley found the same on Friday night, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think Paul Roos and Mark Bays also.
Pike. Down to Scott. Long. Wild hand pass. Stevens. Here's Swash out of the back pocket. That long ranking left foot kicks wide. Blumfield does the tackling on McKernan. They want holding the ball. They'll get a boundary throw in.
There is the odd exception, of course, Pete. James Hurd missed the last 4 weeks of pre-season preparation. Just came out and kicked a lazy 5 or 6 against Carlton in his first match.
He's James Hurd, Gerard, isn't he?
He is.
And he's booted 3 today. McKernan, lone hand in the ruck. Bell, quick hands back to Roberts to the half forward line. Fletcher to Denham. Just tumbles the ball back. That's good hands by Mercedes. Calthorpe looking for O'Donnell. He's got Hurd. Why not? It's a magnificent kick to Lloyd. Couldn't take it. Rock. Round the corner.
That's where he wanted it to go, Kev.
So Anderson. In fact, young Bomford nearly got his hands on that ball. Just his first game has been very, very impressive. Coming off the interchange bench, he's already had 5 possession, taken 2 marks, and he's kicked a goal. Danaher in the ruck. Rock around the corner. He's been marked by Berbatov. So centre wing position.
It's nothing like rocking around the clock, is it?
So it kicks long. So Cockatoo Collins, a high flyer. Hurd rockets the handball forward. Bell.
Too high.
Tackled by Bomford.
Well, Cockatoo Collins should have got a free kick there anyway, because Dean Laidley pushed him straight out without even having any idea of where the football was.
Well, speaking of the devil, there goes the junkyard dog. Gets it out wide. Freeborn, half-back flank.
Freeborn looks for distance, looks for McKernan, takes the mark in front of Alessio. Decides to play on quickly. He's got Bell running for him. Alessio's nearly got the big fella. He's been pinged for holding it. That was sudden death.
Gee, I thought McKernan was going to pelt that ball, then umpire Brian Sheen.
Alessio, he nearly did, I think. Lucas, 4 kicks in the first quarter from 4 marks. Kick and a half to goal from there. Puts it out in front. Strong grab, Lloyd, directly in front. And that all looked a little bit too easy, Jared.
Yes, well, once again, it's the height and the delivery of Essendon coming into the forward line. This guy is so talented that if the ball's out in front, you're going to be very difficult to stop him. Lucas brings the ball in. And there it was, uncontested. Obviously, he'd lost his opponent. Went over Mick Martin's head. Just read it better. Great delivery coming in, though.
Ruptured his spleen in the preliminary final at the SCG last year. Was in intensive care for a while in hospital. Came home 8 days later. Kicks at goal here in round 3, and he's got it.
And the more I see this Essendon side this season, the more I'm sure they're going to be here in the last Saturday in September. They've just got so much depth. One of the few clubs that can match the Brisbane Lions for depth. Let's just have a look here what happened with Corey McKernan. Not sure why, in fact, that was penalised, because he clearly didn't retard him sufficiently, I don't think, Kevin, to warrant that free kick.
So Matthew Lloyd on screen, kicks his first goal. Came into the side, replaced Mark Mercury. His father, John Lloyd, played with Carlton, but not enough games for the Blues to get him on the father and son rule. Bell off the ground. Berbakoff. Good hands. Back to Simons. He's been bouncy across half-back. His kicking does let him down. Laidley. Kicks the centre square, 2 against 1. King. Masiti. Smoke on Joe. Tunnel balls it back. Alessio. Masiti. Ooh. One thing about Laidley, went hard at it. He gets the free kick. King off and running, took the bounce after 1 step. Cockatoo Collins down. Short. Finds Scott. So a loose play on the half-forward line. The kick was a poor one. He was looking for Scholl, needed a kind bounce. Simons once more straight over the boundary line. We've got a throw in. 7-6-48 Essendon. North Melbourne 4-5-29. And Simons on screen. Already with 12 possessions and 2 marks. Subiaco, but came from a little mining town outside of Kalgoorlie. Alessio versus McKernan. Nothing decisive, except Wellman takes the ball away. Good mark by Lucas. With this beautiful raking left boot, but off balance. Kicks to 50. Bad bounce for Caracella. Start on the interchange bench. He's on the ground for Essendon. Swash short to Blakey. Just replaced Longmire. So Blakey with a big bomb to space. Rock, can he run onto the ball? Taps the ball back. Anderson couldn't handle it. Berbakoff at ground level. Kicked off the ground by Archer. Back to Calthorpe. Hands and knees. Berbakoff had it. Lost it. Hardwick. Over the top was Anderson. Stacks on the mill. We've got a ball up. 60 metres out.
Corey McKernan now going down to full forward, and I really think that if North are to win this game, he's got to spend most of his time in the forward line. They do play a different brand of football if they haven't got one of their talls down there. They lack confidence when they're bringing the ball into the forward line.
Certainly lack a lot of height on the forward line without him there. Is that a mark?
Well, they're so finely attuned to having Carey down there that they've got to really change their structure unless they've got a big man down there replacing him.
Bell from Stevens, now Archer. Archer straightens up. The kick, unfortunately, for North doesn't. And Chandler takes the mark right on the behind post, almost an impossible angle. He decides to run around. Umpire says play on. Now he gets a bit of a look. So does O'Donnell. Great smother and out of bounds. It looks like the Bombers' day.
It's the second opportunity Chandler's had to kick a goal, and both times the ball has been smothered. And what a team-lifting thing that is for Essendon, when you see the players going across to Gary O'Donnell there.
Yeah, particularly when it is the skipper. And it was right out in front of a major group of Bomber supporters. So big lift for the Bombers all round.
Wellman and Blakey. Wellman on to Michael Long. Loves a run. Kelthorpe does the shepherding. Long feigns the hand pass and then gives one away, taken by Blumfield. Back to Long. 60 centre wing. It's further than that. It's up towards half forward. Defence desperately trying to get it out. Stevens. Rock hasn't the height. Danaher has. Schwartz stands the mark. Danaher, the last of the clan. Martin will punch effectively, as it turned out. Big Mick, former best and fairest, around Hurd. Not easy to do. Finally North through the refrigerator. Mark Roberts find the safety of the boundary line. And a throw in between wing and half forward. 67 AFL games for Mark Roberts. Started in Sydney, went to Brisbane. He'll conclude his AFL career with the Roos at Arden Street. Over the top, Blakey. Seedy had it. He comes up towards centre field. Bell from Laidley. Berbikov. Berbikov's kick back towards full forward. Another Essendon mark. Carousella this time. Another youngster, Kevin Sheedy, keeps bobbing him up.
Back in 1994, Pete, he won the medal in the AFL for that youth championship. The might have been called the Teal Cup in those days. And Alan Schwab medal. And so he's a very, obviously, young player with a lot of potential.
Blake Carousella for his first goal in the AFL. 30 metres out directly in front, and he's got it. At 6 to 4-5. If you're a Roos supporter, it's not a nice looking sight, the scoreboard at present.
I'll tell you what, though, it's pretty thrilling if you're a Bomber supporter. But just a trivia question, KB. You're a great student of the history of the game. How many other players would there have been in the history of AFL named Blake? Sort of a modern name, isn't it?
It is.
He may be the only one.
We did have Rod Blake, of course, play with Geelong.
And John Blakey.
Lost the Brownlow medal, I think, by a vote one year.
But Blake Carousella, I think, may well have that on his own.
So the Bombers. 5 goals to 2 in the second term. Mercedes took it from Hurd. Just thumps the ball back. Mighty Mick Martin's there. Cockatoo Collins. Quick, elusive. Takes him on. Goes short. Finds O'Connor. Not 10 metres for mine. Denham caught. Great tackle by Rock. Laidley to Freeborn. We've got a boundary throwing. There's some modern names in football these days.
There's plenty of modern names.
Joel.
Football, yes, Joel.
Kevin Jewett and
Corey.
Get a run into it.
Not too many Corys have played.
Corey Bell for Richmond, was it?
Not too many Chays.
No, not many shows at all. But what a talented machine he is. Perhaps just wasted an opportunity there by just one too many balks.
And Pike's kick goes over the line for a boundary throw. So the Bombers, 8-6-54. They lead by 25 points, 4-5-29 North Melbourne.
Right on centre wing with 4 minutes remaining in the half. Lucas and McKernan. McKernan working hard at both ends of the ground. Wellman's just been working well in defence. Mercedes kick. Bouncing ball. O'Donnell seemingly everywhere. What can Michael Long do? Martin nearly got nudged out. Carousella had 2 hands on it. but it's gone through for a rush behind to Essendon. Well, Blake Carousel nearly got his second goal, 8-7 to 4-5. Under 4 minutes left. Kick in comes to the member stand side, and the Junkyard Dog, Laidley, from left half back, this time over the head of O'Donnell. Mr. Magic insofar as the smothering's concerned. Stevens and Archer went at it. Stevens kick up towards McKernan. Quick kick into space. Bell will need his speed to gather in front of Hardwick. Across his body, the snap, all Essendon. Fletcher got the sun in his eyes. Simon said, yours, mate, but he couldn't handle it. So it will be out of bounds. It will be a throw-in right next to the behind post in the closing stages of the second term. 8-7 to 4-5 in favour of North. So the reigning premiers not having it all their own way here. Curtin in front, tries to take it out of the pack, couldn't do so. Fletcher, a little flip out. Berbikov to Denham. Now to Masiti. I think that was just landing inside the line, so it will be a throw-in. I'll tell you what is in fashion though, the short haircut.
Yeah, it makes it tough on commentators, as do players to change their jumper from long sleeve to short sleeves midway through the game. David Kelthorpe.
I was amazed when he came out in long sleeves, Jared.
And there he is for all to see. He's got a lot of rubber on both elbows.
Bell. Good gather, good tackle by Berbikov. And now Joe Masiti. Smoking Joe's kick just off one step. Hurd. Taken away from him. Simons tries to get it to Long. Brushes the tackle of Scott. Looks for O'Connor. Roberts was deft with the punch. Laidley tries to get it to a teammate. They've got to get a goal before half-time. Chandler too high, and nobody would argue with that.
Well, I think if you just judge the game on supremacy in the middle of the ground, the midfield, it'll be pretty well even, Stephen. It's just that North Melbourne just haven't been able to convert as this one when they go into the forward line.
Terrific mark by McKernan, a long way out. Good 70 metres. Oh. This is a great kick. Distance is there. Oh. He's kicked a goal. What a kick.
As good as James Hurd's in the first quarter.
Well, he's kicked two.
And they've both been spectacular, KB, haven't they?
And I think, Jared, your thoughts before might just be right, that maybe on the forward line he's the only one who's capable of taking the big mark from the style of play that North played, kick it long into the forward line. Maybe Roberts or someone like that might be able to do a bit of ruck work around the ground.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure they should have McKernan going into the ruck at the present time.
55 plays 35. McKernan wins the tap. So he's doing it all over the ground for North. Swashes caught.
Yeah, what a great goal that was to Corey McKernan. And you just get the feeling, KB, that he has to kick 5 or 6 if North Melbourne are to win this game. And they do need Mark Roberts, to jump up in the middle of the ground to allow him to go into the fence. Sorry, into attack.
Swash kicks the ball and just trickles over the line in front of Berbikov.
I think John Longmire's a bit of a problem for them at the moment. He just hasn't been able to quite find his form, either as a ruckman, a forward or a defender. They're playing him on and off the bench, but they need him, Longmire, to come onto the ground and release McKernan.
So McKernan in the ruck. Wins the tap, needs support, Rock. Once more a boundary throw in. So Anthony Rock on screen. Tenacious, terrific season last year. 7th highest kick winner in the competition. He's got Danaher as an opponent. So Lucas versus McKernan, centre wing position. Simons from the back. Berbikov has been impressive since he's come back onto the ground. Down towards 50. Martin tried to tap the ball on, knock it on, ground level. Lloyd has kicked a goal. Great vision towards Long, and he's got it. Well, that was a very good mark. So Michael Long hurt himself in round 7 last year against Geelong. At one stage he might have made a comeback for the finals, but elected to give it a rest. And looks like he's come back jerked from 2 knee injuries now without any diminishing of his pace or his ability.
He's done very well, hasn't he? Although he appears to have almost knocked himself out here by landing on the ground. Was Pike clipped him on the way through, did he?
Yeah.
But he did have a reconstruction, and then unfortunately his patella tendon snapped last year, and it was a real blow to not only himself but also to Essendon as a club, because this guy's a real cult hero at Essendon. He's a cult hero for football.
He's a comedian as well. Very funny man. I don't think he sees too much humour in the situation at the moment now.
Looks like Shea Cockatoo Collins will do the job at kicking for goal in his absence.
So Cockatoo Collins has already kicked a goal in this term from just inside 50. So the distance not a problem. Neither's the accuracy. And a bit of byplay between Laidley, the junkyard dog, and Cockatoo Collins. He's kicked 2. And there's Michael Long. Took that bit of a knock. So a bit of feeling in this game. It's not spiteful, but there's a bit of feeling.
Well, it's only a cog below spiteful, and showing some potential, KB. So that'll be interesting to see what happens in the second half. I'm just surprised that Michael Long recovered so quickly after Shea Cockatoo Collins kicked that goal from outside 50.
Think he's better kick for goal, Jared, than Michael is?
It wouldn't be beyond Michael. He is a very good actor and a comedian and an entertainer, as you described, Pete.
Okay.
Cagey as the best.
40 seconds remaining in the half. The Bombers extend their lead. 26 points is the margin. Rock. Kick to half forward and Freeborn, or Freeborn actually on centre wing. Brushes one tackle, he'll need to brush another one. Good turn of speed to get away from Danaher. 3 bounces and still he goes at half forward. Defence though working manfully. Denham taking it from Plumfield. And the Bombers get another one. This is Lucas. Kick inside 50. Huge pack of players. Martin looks as though he's hurt after that exchange. O'Donnell, can the skipper kick a goal? O'Connor has marked 12 metres out from goal. Martin still prostrate on the ground. There's the siren.
And Cockatoo Collins is going on with it with Dean Laidley. As Mick Martin is in big trouble on the ground.
Well, was that huge pack of players? He's hurt his wrist, has he?
Looks like he's holding his wrist as we see O'Connor
hit the post. An anticlimax to end the second quarter. Ryan O'Connor's first score of the day. But the big news is the injury to Martin, because they are certainly down at the big brigade at the moment and they would not want to lose him. It's 9-8 to 5-5 at half-time. Well, they have to get more out of Archer, don't they? Just 3 kicks for the day so far.
Mark Robertson, centre half forward for North Melbourne, but he may well run into the middle of the ground once McKernan takes his tap.
Many moves made by the coaches, especially from North Melbourne's point of view as we start the third quarter. Wellman pinches it, Roberts pinches him. Masiti brushes one tackle, Caddens into Roberts. Berbikov, a little bit too slow to get rid of it. Umpire says play on. Schwass, Laidley across his body. The mark taken by Simpson. Onto the ground for the first time. Fletcher in the road, easy as you like. Denham.
It's okay to ignore the short option on the basis that you've got a long option, and that certainly wasn't a good kick by Freeborn.
Berbikov, great mark. Obviously can play at both ends of the ground at the moment. He's on right half-back flank. Saw him mainly in defence last year. Hurd at the back, didn't get a run at it. Rock did. Cockatoo, Collins and Laidley enjoying each other's company. Alessio too tall. That's the story of the day, Kev.
And Johnny Longmire now has lined up at centre half back. Alessio, long way out from goals. Good 75 metres. So he just pops it up. So it's one for the high flyers. Matthew Lloyd up high, fist away that time by Mighty Mick. Comes to Chandler. It's a hurry kick back inside the centre square. Favours Masiti. Picked up 15 possessions. Kicks the ball back. Inside 50 once more. Good mark by Rock. Just feeds the ball off to Laidley. crashed to the ground after he kicks the ball. Masiti, the ball just keeps following him around the ground. Back to Denham, to Berbatov. So Essendon, with all the numbers across the centre of the ground, kicks the ball back. Cockatoo Collins. A diving attempt. Laidley, with plenty of time. Can he set something up? Swash. Rockers hand pass to King. Loves to run with the ball. Put on the accelerator. Now into top gear. The kick's a poor one. Across the ground. So a chance for Freeborn. He's got to beat Long. That's hard to beat. Scott's there as well. Lost his strides. Good interception. Back to Scott. Throws the ball away. Shoveled it out. Masiti back to Long. They're relentless, the Bombers. Bang, a big collision on centre wing. Been marked by Danaher. So Danaher goes short. He's got a loose player in Calthorpe. He's got it.
Lloyd came off second best in that collision that you mentioned, Kev, too.
So Matthew Lloyd looking a bit groggy. Calthorpe with the ball at centre half forward. You mentioned earlier, Pete, had a ruptured spleen last year in the preliminary final against Sydney. So he's coming off. I'm certain they'll take no chances with him. Calthorpe from just outside of 50. Those legs pumping. He's kicked a goal.
Calthorpe kicks his first. Essendon's 10th. The Bombers right away again. And Matthew Lloyd limping to, that was the throw, but the umpire was on the blind side. He wouldn't have seen it.
Let's just have a look at this little pass there from Long. Sets up Danaher, and he drives the ball long. Calthorpe, who's been in and out of the wilderness, you'd have to say, over the last couple of weeks, years, is really starting to get back to his best form in 97.
68 plays 35. McKernan took off before nominations. Denham gets it down to the skipper. O'Donnell, Hurd, taken out of the contest. Snapped by Lucas. Not there, Laidley. Educatedly to the boundary line. His only other option was his teammate John Blakey, but I'm sure he'll settle for the boundary throw-in.
Centre bounces are quite interesting at the present time because McKernan jumps early and Alessio is getting out of the way and thereby taking away the step ladder. A number of times he's just gone up and gone down without touching the football.
O'Connor back on the ground, replacing Lloyd. Collins, has he marked that? And Dennis Rich is running in pretty quickly. He's paying him the mark. I thought it might have been just over the line. He and Laidley having a real dip at each other right throughout the match so far. And the hyphen looking for options. It's like a short corner in hockey, isn't it? Won't have taken up their positions.
Got David King, it looks like, in the starting blocks.
Not much daylight there. The ball could almost get stuck between the posts. He's going to run around. He is. He kicks. He snaps. And he has kicked one behind. Shane Cockatoo Collins, 2 goals, 2 to his name today. 69 plays 35. Kick in from King to the outer side. The magic of Mick, and his shoulder looks okay.
Well, maybe a jab of elephant juice at half-time. Danaher gets around Simpson. Mr. Dependable kicks back towards centre half forward. O'Connor has had a dirty day. Comes to Roberts, goes short to Scholl. Plenty of runners. Rock says kick the ball long. Fletcher's in front. He's got Arch to the beat. Plenty of support from Berbatov. We've got a boundary throwing. Just looking at David Calthorpe there, Jared, as Australia's leading physiotherapist, with his arms, with those elbows all bandaged up and with that rubberised protection. What do you think's wrong with him?
I'm not exactly sure, KV, and you won't be charged for that diagnosis. Perhaps he's thinking about the opposition players rather than himself.
What possibly could be wrong with his arm? Alessio. Rock was caught high. No free kick. Archer over the top. Denham to Simons. Kicks it straight over the line.
Just on what you're saying, Kev, doesn't Peter Dean wear similar type protective material?
Yeah, he looks like the Michelin man, Peter Dean, at times. But
is it through?
Well, he may have problems with his elbow joints. as we see Matthew Lloyd running around the boundary line. Clearly he's regained full consciousness.
Blumfield to Simons, who this time takes it over on the member side.
We're going to have to ask him, I think, David Calthorpe, to find out exactly why he wears so much rubber.
Well, we
Perhaps
know
he's
why.
got a sponsorship.
Well, we know why Paul Roos wears the big thigh pad, because he had a blood vessel that went on him several years back and could have missed a lot of footy except towards the end of the year. So that's that protection, but I'm not quite certain why he's got it. Simons gives it across to Fletcher. Plenty of space. He's going to carry the ball, the centre half back. Kicks long. This will favour Mighty Mick Martin. Should get the free kick. Maybe advantage paid. Johnny Longmire, the horse, wobbles the ball back towards centre half forward. Berbakoff couldn't take it on the half volley. Alessio to Simons, been terrific off half back. Takes him on. The Essendon fans love it. To 50. High flyer was Caracella. Longmire trying to win back a bit of form. Back to Pike. Blakey.
John Blakey at left half back. Schwartz taken out of the contest by Calthorpe. While McKernan running with the flight of the ball, had to turn around quickly. Wellman nearly pinned, ball jarred free, picked up by Scholl. Advantage paid, as was the free kick. One-on-one duel, Blumfield at the back, punches it clear. Essendon, Fletcher again. His kick not quite as good as his previous one, out towards half-back and Chandler. Chandler unloads with a long bomb hand pass. Stevens spears the pass in further out from goal. Roberts turns around to see Michael Long on the mark. The refrigerator, they need more out of him and a few other players as well. Peter Bell was out there. King was in front and took the mark.
Well, King's been a solid 2 and a bit quarter player for them.
About their best player, isn't he?
Well, he really has been a worker. He got a good start. Mark Stevens is a player, I think, that has to really develop over this next couple of months for North Melbourne. John Longmire, they're persevering with him, and as they should. But he really hasn't given them much in a key position at the present time.
Only 17 career goals from his 69 games. David King kicks from 45 metres, and he may have missed, judging by a lack of crowd reaction. He has, and boy did they need a goal there. So 2 behinds against the name of D. King, 10-9 to 5-6. Fletcher will mark the kick in from his skipper. Goes around the member's side wing. Danaher at left half back. Looks up to see Scott on the mark. Danaher's kick towards midfield. Longmire taken short. Whistle on play. It's going to be O'Connor's free kick. Umpire Sheehan indicating where the mark is. He's gone long. Too long. Still long. He goes at goal, but has missed it. And maybe that's why, Gerard, he gave the kick to Shea Cockatoo Collins just before half-time.
Maybe, Pete. Perhaps he's got the yips. I'll tell you who hasn't got the yips. Tiger Woods.
Well, he's at both ends of the ground. King looks for McKernan. Badly directed kick. Kick away comes from Blumfield. Onto O'Donnell. Down the ground as well. Caracella in front. Oh! Big fly by David King. And away he goes.
Bounces up like the Indian rubber man. King from half back. This time he finds Simpson. So Simpson from inside the centre square to Swash. That's a great kick. Maybe a bit of lack of match practice there by Swash. Dropped what was an easy mark for him. Masidi just keeps picking up possessions. Goes short. Long. Caracella's wide. He's been ignored. Picks a better option. Lucas.
They do that well, Essendon. They just create space and then have a player from up the ground run back into space, as we'll see another one here.
Bomford.
In Bomford.
Well, Lucas has ignored him, so he just kicks a long bomb. Alessio not on the second grab. Quick snap. Calthorpe got a boundary thrown. I think pretty poor play that time by Lucas. He should have given it off to Bomford.
Yes, and Bomford asking the question now. He has run 150 metres. Unselfish
he came off
running.
the bench.
Well, he's run about 75 metres, KB.
Caught him out by surprise, but Lucas, for some reason, just elected not to go to him. Hurd over the back. Cockatoo Collins taps it on, kicked off the ground by O'Donnell. North Melbourne defence will be tough there today. That's where all the action is. Played on Essendon's forward line. Simons He'll take him on when he gets it. Great tackle by Longmire. Back to Blumfield. Ryan O'Connor bundled over. It's forced through for one behind.
Rush behind to the Roos. Mick looking the worse for wear. 10-11 to 5-6. So virtually double the score. Once again, King. Now he's got Scott on his own. About the 50-metre line on the member stand side. He's ignored him. Gone just as long to the other side. Taken out of bounds. Danaher and O'Donnell both had a fist on that. Only at the halfway stage of the term, so if North are going to get themselves back into the match, they need a couple of quick goals. Alessio, too tall. O'Donnell, quick kick. Now a chance. Getting onto his right foot. Bomford. Not Lucas. It's Blumfield who's taken the mark. Well within kicking distance. This has a look back to see how far he is. John Rosidi gives him some well-chosen words of advice. Distance shouldn't be a problem for him. For Essendon's 11th. .35 metres out. And judging by crowd reaction, he may have missed that. One behind, kicked by Blumfield, his first score of the day. 10-12 to 5-6, so now they are exactly double the score of North Melbourne. 72 to 36, and nearly at the halfway mark of the term.
Got some very good young players, Essendon. We've seen Carousella and Bomford playing their first games today. Both have kicked goals, but very impressive. Blumfield last year, and Lucas came into the side. And of course, Lloyd has also gone off after a heavy knock. Wellman was a high flyer. So a nice mix here for Essendon. North Melbourne, Freeborn will get support from Pike. Now he'll go over the top to Pike. No, he does the shepherding. So Freeborn runs into the pocket. Can't finish it off. So nothing going right for North Melbourne at the moment.
We've also got a couple of others that we haven't yet seen too much of, and Chris Heffernan, who was a chance to play today.
Emergency.
Andrew Jukovic is also a very good player in the making. Daniel McAllister, there's a young man with a big reputation coming out of the underage teams.
From New Zealand. So maybe a very bright future for Essendon. There's a good mark to Corey McKernan. Let's go down to Johnny Russo.
Mark Stevens, John. Any problems with him? We haven't seen too much of him, and North look to be in need of another big man.
Hurt his Mark Stevens has hurt his ankle, and he's not expected to take any further part in the game. They're just the doctor's looking at it at the moment, but it's not expected that he will come back on.
Thanks, Jack. Big mark to Fletcher before. Now Blumfield again. Blumfield kicks towards centre wing. O'Connor and Martin, the two bookends. Now the rubber man, Danaher, taking it from David Calthorpe. Punch away by John Blakey, and the ball safely over the line for a throw in Essendon's right forward pocket. 10-12 to 5-7 here at the MCG. John Blakey, having spent a little bit of time on the bench early in the first quarter, was on James Hird. Hird kicked a couple of goals. He's now got 3. Roberts in front. Martin, a little flip out. Danger here for North. Schwass, Blakey, toe poke off the ground. Now they might be able to run it away. Chandler from Pike, the two former Fitzroy players. The kick is to half forward again. Essendon with numbers. Freeborn late on the scene. Couldn't stop the mark down there at Blumfield. Hardwick doesn't do too much wrong. Neither does this fellow. Fletcher unloads with a big bomb down to half forward. Martin stands there rather statuesque. Didn't get the bounce he wanted. Longmire kicks it back towards the centre half forward position for North Melbourne. Again, no one home. McKernan almost on all fours. He's got to beat 4 of them. And the ball kicked off the ground successfully by Scott Lucas and out of bounds in North Melbourne's right forward pocket. But goals hard to come by They are certainly missing the duck up there at half forward.
Great agility there, Kevin, though, by McKernan. Down and up, like your favourite Indian rubber band.
That's right.
So throw in. McKernan working overtime. Should be getting penalty rates today. Simons over the back and over the top. Scholl can't quite gather it. Breaks one tackle from Simons. Centering kick from him. Huge pack of players. Danaher in front. Burbakov was there. It beats Freeborn over the line. Almost on the opposite forward pocket. And the rubber man is last to get up. Gee, that's a bad gash on his head.
She'll have to come off.
See the blood pouring out of there. That is Calthorpe, yeah.
I've seen a bit of the old blood flowing this weekend with a couple of very controversial incidents at Waverley yesterday.
Oh, he got a knee in the head, I think.
And Hardwick.
And from one of his teammates here, King missed the mark. Hurd doesn't need too many opportunities. His jumper grab, but still he goes. James Hurd, the Brownlow medalist. Can he make it 4 goals? Bell's nearly got him. Scholl. Nearly. Burbakov. Calthorpe with the blood. Probably should have gone off under the blood rule, but got his kick away to his credit. Simons just can't quite gather, and away he goes.
So Simons across half back. It's a poor kick to O'Donnell, but they've got the numbers 3 against 1. That tells a story. Denham kicks inside 50. Martin in front. I think that shoulder's pretty sore. Alessio kicks a goal. He looks a bit sore to me, Mighty Mick.
There's no doubt that joint was wrenched just prior to half-time, and he's doing pretty well to be out there. But North Melbourne really struggling now with Mark Stevens, as we just found out of the game with an ankle injury. They're down a couple of big men. John Longmire still struggling a little bit. And we are seeing a very good player in Steve Alessio take a hold on this game.
So the Bombers by 41 points. 78 plays 37. 7 minutes of action left in his third term. McKernan played a great game in North Melbourne, but Bombers have got the answers. Lucas has been good. Blumfield's been exceptional. So has Fletcher. Another long bomb. Archer got his hands on the ball. Just couldn't hang on to the share and kicked off the ground by Mighty Mick once more. Here's Roberts, centre wing. North Melbourne. Can they come back? Scholl traps it. Oh! Kicks into his teammate, yes. And McKernan nearly knocks him out. So there's a headache.
It's David Calthorpe's.
We'll see McKernan here. Back of the head. Still a chance for North Melbourne. 40 metres around from goal. Kernan versus Lucas. We've got a ruck infringement. He's going to Lucas.
Well, if North supporters are looking for positives, it's maybe one we can find is that Martin Pike's doing a pretty good job on James Hurd. Only 1 handball in this term. Make it 1 handball, make it 2 handballs.
Make it an ineffective handball, Sheriff.
Simon's not ready for it. O'Donnell's been good. He's played a terrific game today. Desperate under the pack. Chandler's there with Pike. We've got a baller.
His Chandler hasn't been one of their worst. 11 kicks, 4 marks and 5 handballs.
Probably only needed to add those couple of goals that he had opportunities of kicking, and he would have had a pretty good afternoon.
And one of those was expertly smothered by the Essendon skipper, Gary O'Donnell. Fantastic effort in the pocket at the other end. Now another free kick after a ruck infringement. Umpire Brian Sheehan said this time it's going to McKernan. Too far out to score. Centering kick. This is where the height of Essendon's been a telling factor today. Simpson was the high flyer. Could have been a bomber free kick. It will be. The advantage is paid. Pryor and Grubber up towards Longmire, who fumbles. Alessio. Longmire beats him to it. Martin gets a bad bounce. O'Connor's there, uses some weight. Now the horse comes across goal, trying to find form. Stevens. Short kick to Bell at midfield. He decides to play on around O'Donnell. Fletcher up high, couldn't complete the mark. Blumfield. Now Simons. Smoke and Joe.
It was 4 Essendon players to 1 North Melbourne player, and that ball went into the forward line.
We've seen that so often today, Kev, haven't we?
I thought coming into this match that perhaps North Melbourne would have a psychological letdown after building themselves up so immensely for the Carlton match on Monday.
Archer couldn't quite get the fist away that he wanted, and their best player most consistently today is doing it again. King's kick short of right half forward flank. Lucas up underneath it, gets a second dip against Allison. Bell roves the pack well onto his right foot. Story's the same, no one home for North Melbourne, and the mark taken by Simons in the last line of defence, literally. Out to Fletcher, who's having a good season. Star last week. He's gone out wide to Hardwick, to Danaher. Well, they're getting kicks too easily. Danaher at right half back. Kelthorpe on the boundary line, a very handsome bandage around his head. Michael Long to Cockatoo Collins. Long bomb, Alessio, a little bit too long for him actually. Gathered nicely by Bomford. Skipper underneath all that, but Archer tidies up well.
Cleans up, goes into the centre of the ground, finds Pike. So the former line just kicks the ball long, but they haven't had really anyone to take a mark down there except McKernan. When he's not in the ruck, Hardwick shovels the ball out. Forced forward once more by North Melbourne. But the numbers, this is where Essendon have been fantastic in defence today. Prior to Wellman, they're running hard out of the back line, trying to set it up, casual as you like. Looks for O'Connor. Really struggled today. Make that Mercedes. Apologies to O'Connor. Smoke and Joe's been good.
He's only a middleweight, Kev.
23 possessions, 5 marks. Looks like he's had the #1 clip. There's O'Connor now.
You started that
with some strength. To Hurd. Kicked 3 goals in the first half. Stevens. To Bell. He's on the edge of the centre square. McKernan. So Corey McKernan hasn't got much to kick to. They're lacking a bit of height. So he kicks long. Simon sets himself in front of Scholl and he's got it. It's been a good matchup by Kevin Sheedy. Scholl's a dangerous player. Cockatoo Collins kicks the ball out wide. Here's Bomford. Now this kid has been really impressive. Picked up from the Sydney Swans, puts it out in front. Longmire just shrugs off Alessio, comes back. McKernan.
Ooh, that doesn't look good.
So McKernan and King just about holding North Melbourne together at the moment.
I hope his leg's going to hold together. They lose him. He didn't kick that too well either. He winced a little bit. Again, all Essendon. Hurd down there in defence. You caught James. The ball has hit the behind post, but it's a free kick for holding the ball. Just a little bit too casual. Is that a fair assessment, Jared?
Well, she was tight, but good to see the umpire having the courage of his convictions to pay a penalty only a couple of metres out from goal.
Mark Roberts from point blank range kicks the goal. Eleven 12 to 6-7.
An interesting choice of kick there from Mark Roberts. He just laid back on a little boomerang. We'll have another look at it. Here you see Hurd. He's got plenty of time to get rid of it. Clearly a decision. Had to be. Good decision from the umpire, and well, a goal resulted.
You have to ask the question, how come he didn't hear Mark Roberts approaching?
Or feel the vibrations.
.35 lead to Essendon. 78 plays, 43. Alessio. Marked by Stevens. Picking up possessions in this third term. Goal on 3/4 time. Roberts has got it. Well, maybe never underestimate North Melbourne. They've got great fighting spirit. They keep hanging in there. The Bombers just can't quite shrug them off. Every time the Bombers look like they might bury North Melbourne. They come back and they kick a goal. Stevens has been good in his third term. Roberts has picked up possessions. King has been outstanding in defence.
He has. 16 kicks.
So this is a big kick for North Melbourne. Roberts from right on 50. Distance is there. Minor score. We see Dennis Pagan in the coach's box there with Norm Dare. With just under a minute of action to go in this final term, third quarter, I should say. So if they could just pick up another score, although the Bombers are pretty good at slowing things down. We've seen that in the second quarter as well. Kelthorpe, impersonating Geronimo, kicks up towards the centre wing. McKernan's in front. He's a terrific player.
He's impersonating Superman and doing a pretty good job of it.
He's taken 10 marks. This is his 16th possession. He's doing all the ruck work as well. Cockatoo Collins, that's good.
And it's a pretty dangerous spot to kick the football. Cockatoo Collins just slowing the football down.
Lately, his opponent all day, standing the mark. Cockatoo Collins kick over the head of O'Connor. Long. Always excitement when he gets the football. Martin and O'Connor, the two bookends again, go for it. And Magical Mick sees it over the line for a rush behind to Essendon. There's the siren for three-quarter time. It's not a match-winning lead, but it's close enough to it, you would reckon, the way the game's being played today, and with North Melbourne's manpower well down. 11-13-79 to 6-8-44. 35 points the difference. Archer's gone to full forward to start the final quarter for the Roos. They want a couple of quick goals to give themselves any chance. O'Donnell, kick up towards half forward. Longmire punches, straight to Bell. Free kick, North Melbourne. It will go to the horse. He goes in short and finds McKernan, mark number 11 in front of Hurd. Gets away quickly, good long kick. Up towards Archer, as I said, at full forward. Fletcher there with him, wears him pretty closely. Could be a holding decision there. Umpire lets it go. Roberts spins quickly. Oh, don't tell me he's kicked it. That would be a miracle goal. It's there. Just what the doctor ordered. And boy, if he'd kicked that one just on three-quarter time, it would have made it really interesting.
Yes, and it was all started by their Corey McKernan, who does appear to have recovered from his sacroiliac and iliotibial band problems, KB, but the hip joint in good working order. Well, he sold the dummy to everybody there, I thought, Mark Roberts, and he's kicked one of the goals of the day. Probably the goal of the day.
Well, they'd have to be swapped after missing that one just on three-quarter time from directly in front. But what a great start for North Melbourne. Never say die spirit. 79 plays 50, so back to 29 points. Geronimo out of the centre square.
Once again, we saw Corey McKernan jumping without hitting the target in Alessio and missed it altogether.
Laidley off the half-back. Just another goal now will certainly lift the confidence. This kid's been terrific, Blumfield. Cross to Cockatoo Collins. Kicks a long bomb. Mighty Mick backing back. He's got the free. Hurt his shoulder in that third, just before half-time. Ryan O'Connor just hasn't been in the game today. Just the two kicks and the one mark. Anderson started on the interchange bench. Kicks the ball. It's a tumble kick. Swash in front. Hardwick bowls him over. Like a match practice for Swash. O'Donnell. And there's a good mark by Blakey. Started on James Hurd. Had a couple of goals kicked him on in the first term. Pike. Kicks long. Roberts. McKernan. He's been the star. Simons was held. Lucas, quick hands to Berbatov. Both boys have been good towards the half-forward line. Hurd and Long. Lack of communication that time, taken over by Chandler.
Chandler saw both of them coming. He was close to the boundary line, nearly got it in the end. Throw in, close to centre wing. 11-13 to 7-8. The margin 29 points in favour of Essendon. Bombers have led pretty well all day. Hardwick dragged off it. Denham. Real up and under job, that one. I think Michael Long was too happy about it. O'Connor, yes, no, yes, he's got it. Big fellow finally. And is that 50? I think it might be. Yes, it is. First 50 today. Gerard?
Well, here it is. Here's the mark at least. one grab, two grabs, three grabs. The big fellow, as you described, would have the biggest thighs in the game at the present time.
And can you believe it's thrown to the ground by Peter Bell?
Well, the bigger they are. But I'm not sure there was 50 in it, KB.
Well, we can't hear the umpire's whistle. It just depends how long the umpire had blown the whistle before Bell actually decided to throw him to the ground.
O'Connor's first goal as a result, so the status quo resumed. And that's the lead it was at three-quarter time. 35 points, 7-13 to 7-8. 12-13 to 7-8.
And the rules apply whether you're a small player or a big player.
Yep,
by
sure.
throwing a guy to the ground after he's taken a mark.
This. 1, 2.
It was a definite mark.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Sorry, misinterpreted there. Apologies to the umpire. That had to be 50.
First goal to Ryan O'Connor. So the Bombers by 35 points. Alessio beats McKernan. Hurried kick out of the centre square. Mighty Mick to Anderson. Goes short to King, who's been terrific. Stevens had a very good third term. Down to 50, Archer. He's got Fletcher to beat. He's beaten everyone today. He's taken on all comers. Calthorpe belts the ball back towards Cockatoo Collins. Had a duel all day. First of all with Laidley. Martin taken away by Hurd. Lost it. Started well, James Hurd. Kicked 3 goals before half-time. Martin Pike has done a pretty good job on him.
I think he was pretty well within his rights to complain about that one. At no stage was he allowed to take a prior or allowed to get rid of the football.
Simons, been one of their best defenders. Good smother by Chandler. Ricochets back. McKernan offloads. A big kick down towards Archer, using some strength. He's all fired up. He's got it. Crash, bang, King with pace. Bomford went down. Archer gets it out towards King. Weight being thrown around now. Blumfield loses it. Bomford, the youngster, very impressive in his first game. That's a good kick to Pryor.
Simon's off.
Scattered the pigeons along the way.
Joe Mercedes back on the ground.
Pryor at right half back. Kicks to a contest on centre wing. Almost a mark taken by Stevens. Ball flipped back. Out of bounds. No, still in play. Stevens. Yes, no, it's half out of bounds. Danaher applies a tackle. And finally the boundary umpire will throw it in next to the interchange gates. 16 minutes remaining in the match. 12-4 for Anthony Stevens. Up to his usual high tally. Roos need a few more quick ones. Rock tried to pinch it on the way through. Flipped out. Pryor measures the kick beautifully. Who did you call him, Kev? Geronimo. Now Masiti. Calthorpe in disguise, of course. You can't disguise that. That was a great mark. Cockatoo Collins just finding some space. Laidley's been wearing him pretty closely all day. He's asking Brian Sheehan, where is the mark? He's kicked 2 goals already. 2 goals, 2 to be precise. Goal here would make North Melbourne's task pretty nigh impossible if it isn't already.
He's gone back 5 paces. Made a mark on the ground like Kevin did when he started his career for the place kick.
I thought he was going to put it down for a minute then.
Or was it when you finished your career?
Jay Cockatoo Collins will kick right on 50. That's the bottom line. Kicked a beauty earlier. Same end. He's got another one. That's 3. Well, he knew what he was doing. 13-13 to 7-8. The difference up to 41 points in Essendon's favour.
And Robert Scott now has got the task of trying to curb Cockatoo Collins.
He's becoming one of the best finishers in the game. From very few players can kick it as accurately as him from a standing shot.
Cockatoo Collins on screen. He's booted 3 goals, 2 in the second quarter, 1 in this final term. The Bombers lead 91-50. They've been pretty impressive. Alessio. It's the second time he's taken it out of the centre square. So North Melbourne, they need some goals. They need them quickly. Simpson, bundled out of the way by Hardwick. Archer feeds it off. Simpson to the goal square. 2 to beat. Fletcher's been outstanding today.
As he was last week.
As always, Glenn Archer has tried his absolute heart out, but ball not falling for him. He's only had the 8 possessions. Last week he was the star, the match winner, got the votes. This week really has battled.
And we see Simon sitting on the interchange bench. Doing very good. Bomford. I think we might see a lot of this youngster. Sets it up for Hardwick. Takes the mark. So either a push or a mark. Simons, 21 possessions and 4 marks. Having a breather. Hardwick to Blumfield. Tell you what, he's close to the votes today too. Young Blumfield. Pryor. It's on the half-back flank. 13-13, 91 Essendon. North Melbourne 7-8-50. Wellman. Too tall for Bell. Bell better at ground level. Stevens. Was that a push? Masiti. They've been at it all day. Anderson on hands and knees. Stevens all tied up.
Wellman looks a real old-fashioned defender, doesn't he?
Yes, and he's done a pretty good job today. He's had a good match right from the outset.
Bounce on centre wing. Just in from that position. Umpire Mark Prince. Almost a stalemate. Quick kick. Comes up towards half forward. Laidley missed it. McKernan does it. Kicks into the man in front of him. Berbikov tackled by Simpson. Still Berbikov. Gets his kick. Bombers are away again. Up towards their half forward position. Martin comes out. Good tackle by O'Connor. Past Anderson. Middle just a little bit too slippery there for Martin Pike. Cockatoo Collins charges in like a little ferret. And the umpire will ball it up. Not having a dip is our Shea.
Well, on what we've seen in just 3 rounds of football, I think Essendon are going to shorten pretty quickly for grand final contenders, if not premiers.
O'Donnell, Masiti, knock originally from the captain down towards O'Connor. Plenty of tall timber down there. Alessio, player copped it in the head. That was the horse. Now Scott from Rock, who makes a lead again for him upfield. He's decided to go a little bit further. Simpson in possession. Started on the bench today. His kick towards half forward. McKernan has to beat 2. Nearly did. Archer. Long hand pass. Back to Rock. Has to be quick. Scholl. Got a hand to it. Bomford. Fletcher gives it back to him. Over 70 games, and the 2s up in Sydney stood him in good stead. Hardwick. They're playing around now. Lucas. Masiti. Up to number 32 for Essendon, Justin Blumfield. Another rookie who's performed well today. Hurd. Cockatoo Collins from Scott. He kicks. Has he got number 4? He has. Essendon at home. 14-13 to 7-8. Gerard Laidley had done a reasonable job since Scott's been moved on. Cockatoo Collins has kicked 2 goals in it.
Yeah, 2 quick goals, but the floodgates have opened here, so that makes it tougher for defenders. But you see there, he just was giving CCC 3 or 4 yards of latitude, and that's too much. And a smart handball out from the Brownlow medalist.
So James Hurd down on the ground, just cramps. Cockatoo Collins got that quick reaction time. Very hard player to beat and keep in control. He's booted 4 goals now. Stevens across half back. Kicks back to the point of the square. Bomford gives it across to Pryor. Quite certain how Bomford never got a game with Sydney. He's played just on 80 reserves games. O'Connor had the ball punched away. Volley ball back by Long. Here's Calthorpe. Here's a goal coming up. The Bombers are hot.
2 goals to David Calthorpe as they hit their century. The difference out to 53 points. still 11 minutes to go, Jared. It could balloon even further.
Yeah, we did hear the squeaking of the gates there about 3 or 4 minutes ago. And unfortunately, I think we're going to see an avalanche. North Melbourne really have worked hard, but just got a feeling that the edge was taken off them by building themselves up so much to prove to everybody that it's a myth, no Carey, no North Melbourne last week against Carlton.
Certainly does make a difference. Whether he would have made a difference today remains to be seen, because Essendon just had too many good players. O'Donnell wasn't happy with that kick. Wellman. Oh, Cockatoo Collins jumped at an opponent then. He bounced off him. There he is again. Bomford. To Danaher. Giving him a few years. Michael Long showing them a clean pair of heels. They're running in 6s and 7s. He's just come back onto the field. Matthew Lloyd. Long kick at goal, but off target. And one behind. 1 goal, 1 he's kicked this afternoon. Had a stint on the bench after a heavy knock close to the boundary earlier. And Dennis Pagan would be less than happy today. Normie Dare sitting next to him. 54 points is the margin. Anderson kicks in. Kicks to himself. Now Long up towards midfield. Wellman, Simpson. Simpson eventually the hand pass out. King shirt fronted in the old-fashioned way. Pryor. Chandler. 2 Essendon players collide. Finally the kick comes down to half forward. It's about as far as it's going. He'll try to run it away. One of the smallest men on the field does that. That's Bell. Lucas has to beat 2. Berbikov. Fletcher hasn't made a mistake today, really. Kick a little bit too high. Gives Martin Pike the opportunity to snare it, which he does on centre wing. Best and fairest last year for the Lions. Wellman got a fingernail on that, and so it ricocheted. Danaher gang tackled. Roberts can't pick it up. Almost some tunnel ball out there. Berbikov's got it. He's pinned to the ground. So's the footy. It's going to be a bounce.
Bombers by 54 points. Berbikov on screen. Showing a lot of potential today. Young Berbikov started on the ground, went to the interchange bench, then come back on. Been a very good defender. Bell, Hardwick, Danaher, always works hard in the clinches.
Oh.
Down goes Stevens. Inside 50, Blumfield, along with Fletcher, has been outstanding in defence, and so has 28 Bomford. Glenn Archer.
Seen better stats against his name, haven't
Yes,
we?
just the 4 kicks, 5 handballs and the 1 mark today. Bell runs into the open goal and kicks it. So Peter Bell has kicked his 2nd goal. So North Melbourne 8-8-56, trail Essendon 15-14, 104.
The players just going through the motions, I suppose. There's over 8 minutes left, but really it would be a miracle if Essendon were to let this game slip from here. They just haven't had the firepower up forward, the Roos. They've been outmarked. The tall timber of Essendon, which we thought before the game would have been a telling factor, has proved to be just that. So Peter Bell kicking his 2nd goal, North Melbourne's 8th. But they're a long way behind. 15-14 to 8-8. O'Connor having a stint in the rock. Couldn't do much with it. Likewise Bell. Ball paddled further forward for Chandler. Roberts, will he go off the ground? Again outnumbered. Been the story of the day. Good tackle by Hardwick. Essendon's tactic's been a feature of their play today. Clever from Long. Gives it back to the much bandaged Calthorpe. Laidley was on Cockatoo Collins earlier. He's been moved off him, had a chance. Now it's going to be a ball up. Umpire Sheehan has found something.
And we do marvel at the depth of the lines, but take a listen to these outs for Essendon. Doolan, Barnard, Fraser, Harvey, Somerville, Mercury, Oliver Renshaw, Wallace, Young, let alone a number of unknowns that are very talented. They have got an extraordinary list of talented players, the Bombers.
And Kevin Sheedy would like all of them to be on the interchange bench.
That's a goal.
Lloyd,
Who just came back onto the ground. His 2nd goal. And Essendon 16th, 16-14 to 8-8.
We'll have another look. Longmire brings the ball to ground. Pike just bustled out of it. Denham, a nice, handy little push, got it out to O'Connor. And have a look at this for a nice little roll. Michael Pryor thought he was in luck there. It was going to bounce up for him, but it just rolled end on end through for the big ones. Essendon's 16th, and I think they're going to kick a few more yet.
And Matthew Lloyd took a heavy knock early in the game, so it's good to see him come back and kick his second goal. Throwing off the ball was rocked by Ryan O'Connor. So the Bombers just forcing the ball now out of that centre square. Stevens back towards centre half forward. McKernan has been good. Simpson to Bell. He's worked hard. 25 possessions. It's a floater. Archer takes his second mark and kicks a goal. That's his second.
Yes, 7 minutes to go for the Kangaroos. They can still put some respectability on the scoreboard for themselves. They're struggling up forward as they have done all day. But I tell you what, Peter Bell has had a great start to the season. He has been one of their better players. 25 possessions again today. He certainly can hold his head up.
Bell, Stevens and McKernan have worked probably the best for North Melbourne. Back to the middle, Longmire against O'Connor. Rock. Wellman. Burbakov. A little give out to Lucas. Paddles the ball forward, runs into trouble, tried to get past Simpson. It comes back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell fires it down deep towards half forward. Strong mark over the back, Archer. Now he's down in defence. Well, they've got to try and get the most out of their players. Anderson from Stevens. Fletcher. Cool as a cucumber. Just like his dad. To centre wing. Burbakov. Paddles it in front of him. Rock's got him. Now he finally unloads with a hand pass to O'Donnell. On his own is Pryor. No one within 15 metres when he took the mark. Bombs it long towards centre half forward over the head of Anderson. Might get another one here, Lloyd. Got a free kick. The identical spot is where the mark is going to be from umpire Dennis Rich. Let's see what happened in the incident leading up to that. Mick Martin's not arguing.
Well, Dennis Rich signalled pushing in the back, and he wasn't all that far away from it.
2 goals, 1 he's kicked. Matthew Lloyd, stint on the bench after a heavy knock, as I mentioned earlier in the game. For Essendon 17th. Point blank range. And he's kicked it.
That characteristic bent knee kicking style of Matthew Lloyd, I think we're going to see that a lot of times throughout his career. He's only just really at the beginning of it. So here we have this controversial free kick, Peter.
Well, I thought it was more on the side, but
no, I think you'd have to play that one.
no.
I would have said
I would have failed physiotherapy, would I?
Well, maybe umpiring. I don't know about physio.
And Michael Long onto the interchange bench. Stephen Alessio back onto the ground. Ryan O'Connor in the ruck against John Longmire. Rock out of the centre square. Fletcher's been fantastic in defence. Allison has mainly been on the interchange bench, and he kicks a goal. Just the 5 kicks to Brett Allison. He's taken off very early in the first quarter.
You surprised about that?
Well, they've just decided to bring him back on. Not quite aware of what the problem was, whether he had a bit of an injury or whether it was just through lack of form in that first term. So a free kick has been given away here by O'Connor to Rock. 20 possessions. Goes wide to Scott. Force wide, Fletcher. Very hard to beat. Scott does it well. Kicks the ball back. Cockatoo Collins in defence now. He's kicked 4 goals. And now he's defending. And Roberts is upset. Looked like a mark from here.
Yes, did. I think Mark thought it was a mark. I reckon he told the umpire a couple of times.
Denham. So the Bombers with the loose man, Wellman, on the half-back flank. So he can run with the ball. He can kick it to Berbatov. He's being ignored. In for Lucas. Berbatov lost it. Anderson to Rock at floater. Put him under pressure. Denham over the top to Danaher. We'll give it a Carousella. Good play by Blakey. Forced the ball over the line. And a free kick has been given for a trip.
You got Blakey and Blake Carousella. I wasn't quite sure who you were referring to, Kev. A couple of good youngsters we've seen today in Essendon's side. Archer's kick towards centre wing. McCurtain over the top of his teammate. Chandler, a little give. Certainly one of their best players. King to half forward and Schwass. In racing parlance, he'll be better by the run. Bomford, Hardwick, plenty of time to steady. Goes inboard with the kick. Finds Berbatov. Gets it moving quickly. Essendon looking a pretty fit side. They're still running, punch away by Martin. Danaher's there. Carousella. Flipped out the back. Anderson on the end of it. Anderson straight down the ground. Half volley for Roberts. Anderson, nice little sidestep. Stevens. And marks within kicking distance in front of Fletcher. Well, the sting's gone out of the game, but North trying to get a few goals on the board to add some respectability to their score. They're going for their 11th, but the Bombers 17-14. The match well within their keeping with 3.5 minutes to go.
They've actually done better, North Melbourne, when they opened up their forward line, moving a few players up the ground.
Kick number 17 for Stevens. 45 metres out. He kicks and he goes. Three goals to Anthony Stevens.
But it's 31 scoring shots to 19. So Essendon really have had a firm grip on this game for most of the afternoon. Despite all the best efforts of North Melbourne, they've just come up short in finding goal kickers.
So the Bombers by 42 points. Led by 9 points at quarter time, 27 points at half time, 35 points at three-quarter time. So they've extended their lead. Danaher always tough in the clinches. Chandler started well. Kicks long. Roberts backing back. He's got it. Was it touched? No. It's a goal.
His third.
I'm not sure why Mark Roberts wanted to play on there. Only, what was he, 5 yards out from goal? But here's Brett Chandler, who's been a pretty good player for North Melbourne. Well, there he takes the mark, and he's almost lost it. He's on the top of the 10. Is it a 10-metre square now, KB, or is it a 10-yard square? Used to be 10 yards.
We're into metrics, 10 metres.
Well,
no, it's something like 9.123 or something like that.
In other words, it's a 10-yard square.
Yeah, but it's in metres.
116 plays 80. That was the question. Rock's kick to McKernan.
In actual fact, it hasn't changed its length.
Well,
Now-
we should
now
never have
McKernan,
changed.
Has he got cramp, or is it a little bit more serious than that? I think it might be cramp. Although he
I
is
think it's
favouring
that knee,
knee.
Pete.
Well, that would be a major catastrophe for North Melbourne, with Carey on the sidelines. And let's see what happens here. He lands on it.
He just twisted it a little bit on the way down.
Meantime, ball's out of play.
It buckled slightly. And there is some suspicion that he has been playing with an injury in that knee, maybe a slightly torn cartilage. You can play with them, but if they're torn, they can go out at any time and block the joint up.
Alessio and Longmire. Chandler applies a tackle. Schwass gives him some assistance, but it's going to be a ball up as we approach the last 2 minutes of the game.
McKernan will come off the ground.
36 points is the difference, and that's about what it was at three-quarter time. So they've gone goal for goal. Free scoring affair the last quarter. Rock to Berbikov, and Berbikov takes the mark. And league being made. Bomford again. Playing with a lot of confidence, the youngster. Out to Lucas. Another baby bomber, we'll call him. Pryor.
It may just be a strain of that lateral ligament for McKernan, but clearly he's not 100%.
Let's hope it's minor, Jared. Otherwise their season might be as good as gone. Pike. Big Alessio, who has had a stint on the bench, but he's played pretty well. There's the long to the short of it. Denham. Now Masiti from 55 metres. Martin, O'Connor, and the youngster is there again, Lloyd. He's kicked 3-1. A great comeback from him after that very serious injury he incurred in the preliminary final at the SCG last year. So it'll do his confidence no end of good. Only 6 kicks, but he's going to register another goal, which he has done. Good afternoon's work from limited opportunities. So 4 goals out of Essendon's tally of 18-14. They lead North Melbourne 12-8 by 42 points.
Steve Alessio's a key player for the Bombers. He could be the difference between them winning a flag and not winning a flag, depending on how he performs. Now, that is a great shot of how not to defend that situation. He had to maintain body contact. Lloyd just ducked back a couple of metres, and then just when Martin Pike had eyes for the football, he just slid in front of him and took the easiest of marks.
And Lloyd came into the side when Mark Mercury couldn't take his place before the game. So terrific replacement with 4 goals. Rock never stops trying back to Stevens. They're a great duo. Bell has also gave it his best shot today. You see the ball trickle over the boundary line.
57,978 here today, Kev.
Scott Lucas on screen. He's done a pretty good job. One of the young guns down at Windy Hill, along with Blumfield and Berbikov. Picked up Bomford today. Carousel also a first gamer. O'Donnell is led by example. Kicks back towards 50. There's a good mark by Simpson. Just the 27 games in his career, played in the Premiership last year. So maybe a player of the future as well. Scholl, but outnumbered by Alessio. Just slowing things down. We might see the Bombers just hold possession. As the siren sounds, it's all over. Tremendous performance by the Bombers today. 18-14, 122. They've won by 42 points. North Melbourne 12-8, 80.